Welcome back, guys, to our blog. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the Great Garbage Patch and its effects on bluefin tuna. My name is Neve Ronquillo, and with me are
Weston Walt.
Brendan.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Zach.
My name is Neve, like I said, and our target audience is going to be the general public. Let me explain why. Because while we're all at the beach and everything, you know, the big general public, their impacts with trash waste, whether it's regular plastic, whether it's just trash in general, will eventually end up at the garbage patch just due to overflowing landfills. And then our second choice for the target audience is going to be our sailors. And let me tell you what, as a sailor, when you're traveling through the garbage patch area, you will see a lot of trash, and we just want to bring that awareness that oftentimes they'll see the plastic in the water, or they'll see a fish or an animal in need, and it's just good to give them some information about it, just so that way they know what to do and how to do it. Thank you.
So our third choice for target audience is maritime students. As they start their travels around the globe, they're going to find that they're going to run into trash, not just in the garbage patch because it floats throughout the whole ocean. Not only is it plastic, but also things like rubber and metal. Although metal is usually at the bottom of the ocean, sometimes they'll go through shallow areas where they're going to have to navigate that. We also just the captains and the crewmates. They're going to want to know about where the trash is in the ocean, given the fact that it might affect the fish, as well as where they're going to have to navigate through channels.
Understanding the Great Garbage Patch. The Great Garbage Patch is a large zone consisting of an accumulation of ocean plastic debris. It's located between California and Hawaii and the North Pacific Ocean. It spans 1.6 million kilometers, which is twice the size of Texas.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch includes microplastics, mesoplastics, macroplastics, and megaplastics. This can represent a big environmental challenge to the fishes that migrate through these waters. It also endangers marine animals through ingestion, entanglement, habitat distribution, and messes up the whole ecosystem that they go through. So we can see the graph here shows a representation of how large the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is. The large concentration is actually measured in kilograms per square kilometer. On the graph, we can see just how close it is to California as well as Hawaii. So it's like right in between those two. We can also see large accumulations towards the middle of large megaplastics gathered, and as we span out, it's probably smaller microplastics and smaller concentrations as well.
Okay, so as you can see behind me, this is the tuna migration. They start at the Sea of Japan and the East China Sea, and go through the Pacific Ocean, past Hawaii, and in between California. And
Alrighty, so as they're going this way, they're going to be typically juveniles, so that means anywhere from 2 to 3 years old in their lifespan. And on the way back, as they come back around to following the exact same path, just slightly higher up, they're still going to enter into the garbage patch. And as they are going through ram feeding and everything else, that garbage and those microplastics will end up in their system, and they will ingest it, and it will make it harder for them. But they'll be adults, and typically they're 5 to 7 years old, and they'll head straight back towards the Sea of Japan as they were earlier in their juvenile state. And that's basically the tuna migration on how they're affected. And this next slide will talk more about how and what it's about it.
effects of microplastics on Pacific bluefin tuna. Pacific bluefin tuna respirate through ram ventilation, which essentially means that they cannot stop swimming, even when they're sleeping. Bluefin tuna cannot excrete plastics fast enough, which slows down the amount of food that they can eat. As a result, their digestive system becomes backed up to the point where they cannot get the caloric intake needed to continue ram ventilating. Therefore, many of the Pacific bluefin tuna affected by microplastics succumb to exhaustion and eventually die.
Thank you for tuning in, guys, and learning more about the Great Garbage Patch and its effects on bluefin tuna. Behind us is our references, and we'll link them down in the description below, so that way you could go do your own research on the articles that we have provided. Thank you, and gig 'em.